Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber Jochen, and this is a tribute to Kai Budde. Kai recently passed away at the age of 46 from cancer. He is largely considered to be one of the best, if not the best, Magic players of all time, Pro Tour Magic players of all time. When we talk about the greats of the game, John Finkel, 3 Pro Tour wins, Paulo Vitor Damarosa, 3 Pro Tour wins, Seth Manfield recently got his 4th Pro Tour win. Kai had 7. 7 first place finishes at the Pro Tour is completely insane, completely unparalleled. It's never been done, obviously, and it'll be interesting to see if it's ever matched again. Because losing Kai at age 46, Magic's a game you play with your brain. It's not like sports where you eventually just turn 38 and you can't really play anymore. Don't tell LeBron James I said that. Magic you could play your whole life. And 46, that's 30, 40 years of competitive Magic play we're not going to get out of Kai now. And the rest of the world who are around his age or a little younger, all those other luminaries I named with 3 or 4 Pro Tour wins, they may still have as long to match Kai's record as Kai had on this earth. And they might not get there because of how insane that conversion rate was. Patreon subscriber Jochen asked me to pay tribute to Kai somehow. My choice of how I do that, what format I do it in, and I decided to take his World Championship 1999 famous Covetous Dragon Artifact Wildfire deck and update it for present day Legacy. It would have been easier to do this in pre-modern, where I think 71 of the 75 that Kai actually played are legal. I would just have to replace Grim Monolith with Metalworker or something. But I wanted to really make a run at it in a proper sanctioned format. What this deck does is it uses cards like Grim Monolith, Voltaic Key, 3 Dynamo to get crazy mana before you're supposed to. Then it casts the card Wildfire. Each player sacrifices 4 lands, and Wildfire deals 4 damage to each creature. This is the rare Wrath of God Armageddon split card. And this deck is built with artifact mana sources, so you don't lose all of your mana when you get Wildfired, but your opponent does. Your creatures survive Wildfire. We've got Covetous Dragon, 6/5, convenient 5 toughness on this big guy. Masticore, you can regenerate that before you cast the Wildfire. Karn, a little bit trickier. If it gets blocked, it's a 0/8 Intelligitor that you could Wildfire. Whatever. We just hold Karn until before then. Or after the Wildfire. And when nobody has any resources left, a 6/5 gets the game over pretty darn quick. There are some direct homages to Kai's deck here. Obviously, the Wildfire, the Covetous Dragon, Karn, and Masticore. These are all cards from Kai's build. Mishra's Helix, this was one of his prison elements. Grim Monolith was the core ramp piece in the deck. Curse Scroll, Kai had 4 of these. I don't think we need that anymore, especially with Urza's Saga. A huge upgrade to this deck. You could just grab Curse Scroll if it's right for you, and you don't have to draw too many of them if it's not. Tanglewire wasn't printed yet in 1999. That came out a couple years later. It's a great fit for this deck. Trinisphere was a few years after that. I think 2003, 2004, Trinisphere came on the scene. Another great fit for this deck. Talisman of Creativity. Kai's deck had 4 Fire Diamonds in it. There's a lot of cards that are better than Fire Diamond these days. And Kai had 4 copies of Temporal Aperture in his deck. That's a 2-mana artifact that you could activate for 5 and basically Mind's Desire for 1. The One Ring does that way the heck better. As boring as the One Ring is, it felt like malpractice to play something as poor as Temporal Aperture in the modern world when we have access to the One Ring. Did my best to mix it up. Deck is very much true to what it was originally meant to do, with some new cards that in 1999 Magic players could only dream of. This is the tribute to Kai with update on his Covetous Dragon deck from Worlds 1999. Let's do it. I'm on the draw in round 1. I have a turn 1 One Ring. You keep these. The Dragon and the Wildfire are here, if I have a chance to deploy them. Undercity Sewers. Might be a bad sign, given this is probably a Wasteland Days deck and my hand doesn't really do anything other than play the One Ring on turn 1. Manifold Key, alright. Grim Monolith on the stack. Moment of truth. We're in. Okay. Voltaic Key. Manifold Key. Mox Opal. A card that certainly didn't exist in 1999. Untap my Monolith. 1, 2, 3. Playing around Daze at this point seems a little silly, but I guess there's some universe where my opponent thinks maybe that's not what I'm doing. All right. Or maybe they thought the Grim Monolith wasn't the pinch point. All right, 1 ring's on the stack. A turn 1 win with Kai's Covetous Dragon deck in 2026. Hell yeah. Okay. They just didn't want to play against turn 1 ring, obviously. Didn't have to show them any of the weird stuff in the deck. I want my Hexing Squelchers here. Counter spells are going to be annoying. I have a couple answers to Wasteland already. Disruptor Flute and Pithing Needle are in here. I think Curse Scroll, I'm likely to shave that a lot. Mishra's Helix. I don't think my opponent will ever have more than 4 lands in play, and I think Wildfire is going to do that dirty work for me. Blood Moon and a Braid could be tempting. Man, the card Barrowgoyf is a tough one here because Wildfire is unlikely to kill it. As Wildfire puts a sorcery on lands into the graveyard at minimum by itself, if it kills another creature, I guess the creature would die the same time as Barrowgoyf, so Barrowgoyf wouldn't see the creature die, but it would see the land and the sorcery. Alright, well, let's just hope I have better plans against Barrowgoyf. Alright, here we go. Squelcher's in, some of the silly artifacts out. I don't want to have to be doing stuff like bring in Leyline of the Void just to answer Barrowgoyf. This hand has a few too many dragons in it. This is the spirit of Kai, just showing up. The full house, Covetous Dragons, full of Wildfires. I will mulligan it, though. This one, just as bad. Not quite as bad, but still doesn't do anything. 5. I gotta stop somewhere. I'll keep this bottom dragon, and yeah, this stinks. All right, I'll bottom the 2 cards that make the deck. But I gotta play to my outs here, and my outs are like drawing Grim Monolith and getting something going, and neither of those cards help do that. My thoughts, probably losing the 1 ring here. And it's funny because I bottomed those cards, my opponent still doesn't know I'm on some weird shit. The Mountain's a little weird compared to what happened game 1. Having seen Undercity Sewers and Thoughtseize out of their deck so far, I guess I don't actually even know if this is Tempo or something like Doomsday. And Doomsday wouldn't have conceded to the 1 ring, though, because they could just win. I suspect this is Tempo. Could even be like a James Casal Grixis control, but Tempo is the most likely. That was a great draw. That gets my Saga online and makes my constructs bigger. Wasteland, turn that one off. That's a box that's important to check here. Blue to Delta, Brainstorm. I did look into other people who had tried to update this deck. There was a Reddit thread about someone trying to update it for pre-modern. And they talked about adding Icy Manipulator to the deck, because that can, unlike Mishra's Helix, which only denies mana, Icy Manipulator could get like a Murktide Region or Barrowgoyf under control indefinitely. That didn't actually sound good enough to do. But I get the appeal here, looking at this opponent with their mana and thinking a Barrowgoyf, Murktide, any of those things is a big problem. I still have these 2 cards as a secret. My opponent knows about this 1 ring. They don't know I've found the 3rd land. They don't know I have a 2nd ring either. Wow, didn't shuffle that Brainstorm. They just like every card. Charmed Life. Tameo. I do have answers to that in my deck. Saga ticks up. Am I getting consigned here? Shit. That's good. If this doesn't make constructs, it does very little, in fact. Alright. You got me. I'll have to tutor Mox Opal next turn and cast the 1 ring. Tameo doing Tameo things. Are we doing Kaito things as well? Oh, yeah. Oh, maybe. Gotta go to blocks first. Lightning Bolt, Lightning Bolt. Nope, I don't have that card. Yeah, pretty good curve out here. The Thoughtseize let them make the plan to consign the Saga, knowing that this is the only thing I have going on, into real threat. And we'll see, I guess, if my opponent can Force of Will this 1 ring, or if I have a chance here. But taking Manifold Key that early is suspicious as hell. They topped. Yikes. City of Traders, okay. Float a mana. I think it's just Mox Opal. All right, One Ring around Days. I suspect they have a Force because they've played the game like they have one, keeping off the Kaito, all of that. They don't know I have a second One Ring, though. I hope that can deliver next turn. Here comes Kaito. My deck only plays these 2 One Rings. I'm not a 4 One Ring deck. I put some limits on it, and that means this One Ring will just be in play for as long as it takes for one of us to die. It's kind of scary. Uh-oh, this is clearly a Murktide. Murktide. Okay, they've got an 8/8 and a Planeswalker. This deck's not really built to answer either of those things. I might bring in the Blood Moons for game 3. On the play, that is a way to stop a lot of this stuff from happening. Tanglewire, interesting. One Ring. Can I play another turn, or do you have the second Force? Okay, we're in there. I'm going to draw a card. Another land. Okay. I get a turn to breathe, but also not really. Who cares? What am I even going to do? I would have to cast 2 Wildfires in the same turn while also somehow dealing with Kaito. I guess on your turn, Kaito is a creature, which means Tanglewire would tap it. So if I go Wildfire into Tanglewire, that would actually stop these beats for a little while. Though the clue token sucks up a Tanglewire trigger. Covetous D. All right, draw a card. Don't Bowmaster me. Disruptor Flute can name Kaito, but it's still a 4/4 on their turn. Okay, I can go Manifold Key and draw some more cards off the ring. Not that I think that'll get me out of this, but nothing that I'm currently doing is getting me out of it either. Ring for 3. Double Tanglewire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, all right. All right. I have to play Ancient Tomb to do this. All right. Tanglewire. Play the first one. Ancient Tomb. I go to 11, which is actually 8 because I have a One Ring that I can't do anything about. Second Tangle. Ah, got me with the days. The turn 6 days. All right. Sick. Yeah, I think I want Blood Moon in. I'm going to have to lock them out because there's a series of threats in the deck that I simply cannot answer. I think Karn goes... Wildfire just rips so hard. Can't bring myself to cut it. They still haven't seen any of the weird stuff. They know I'm not Mystic Forge combo anymore because they saw Tanglewire, and they saw a bunch of red mana, but they haven't seen the actual Kai stuff. I think I have to cut Masticore. That can beat a Barrowgoyf, though. Like, block, regenerate, ping the Barrowgoyf 2 or 3 times is actually... If I just have millions of mana and nowhere to put it, that does beat Barrowgoyf. Could also kill a Murktide Regent. Oh my god. Is this the real plan? Okay. Masticore. Still considering it. Maybe I shave a Disruptor Flute. So I go 2 Blood Moons with 3 Trinispheres and 4 Tanglewires. Alright. I don't want to change it anymore. Alright, come on, good hand. No more Mulls to 5. This is a turn 2 Trinisphere or One Ring, and is pretty soft with Thoughtseize, and Daze, and Force of Will. But what are you going to do? That's the deck. At least Kai blessed me with these high count of basic lands, something that a lot of these decks don't have at all. Kai actually had 13 mountains in his deck because he didn't have Great Furnace at the time. Simply didn't exist. Mox Opal. That lets me play around Daze. That's nice. Grim Monolith. Please don't force me. No! Alright, force pitching Daze. Ah, at least I got that Daze out of there. Okay, we'll see what happens this turn, because I can present Trinisphere next turn. Wasteland's insanely messed up because it kills the Great Furnace and turns off Mox Opal. The double whammy. Yeah! Okay. I hope I draw a land right now. Big rips. Oh no! Bad news, team. Underground Sea. Engineered Explosives for 0. Okay. The Mox Opal's not on anyway. That's mostly okay. Well, that's about to change. Okay. Cleared my Mox Opal. To be fair to 1999 and Kai's deck, this play pattern also sucks for modern day big mana artifact decks in Legacy. This is exactly how a game against like Red Stompy or Mystic Forge combo or Big Tron would go if my opponent had Force of Will into Wasteland. All right, come on, Ancient Tomb. I'll take a mountain. We're starting to push back. Now Grim Monolith is a good draw again. Opponent's up to 4 lands. That's a lot to do all the things they want to do. It didn't get Kaito'd. Something's happening second main. Fetching a basic land. Where did that come from? Not a 5/5 Murktide. I can't do that. It has to be 4/4. 5/5 Murktide. Grand Dynamo. Okay, I'll pass. In still drawing and resolving Grim Monolith could still win this game, which seems like a crazy thing to say with how poorly this has gone for me at every turn. I don't really expect it to resolve if I draw it, but that is a sudden massive burst of mana that sets me right off. Oh, that's a legend. Are we trying to turn on Revolt, or what was that about? Was it a misclick? Oh, probably meant to cast Brainstorm and just play Damio instead. All right. I'll take that. A Pyroblast, definitely a card this deck could play. I didn't play it because I was hoping to just have a bunch of Trinispheres and play and make that card bad anyway. Chalice of the Void, a card that this deck could play, but the Manifold Keys are really important, so I didn't do it. They just confirmed in chat that was a misclick. Yeah, I know. Oh no. Well, that kills Tamio too, so we can play that game. Come on, deck. Right now. All right. Does Trinisphere even benefit me? I mean, it doesn't hurt me. I'll put it on the stack. Okay, Trinisphere's in. We're balling. I'm dead in 2 more hits after this one, which means I get 2 more draw steps this game. If I find a land to stick this 3 in Dynamo, we're kind of doing it. Oh no. That doesn't help me, because they can tap explosives and clue 2 lands. I think if I play this Tangle Wire, I lose. I'll run out another Trinisphere. Make everything cost 6. That's not how that works. I'm joking. Before people become very mad at me in the comments about it. Drawing a card with clue in the end step. Tamio's about to be at party mode, which means this is a very important turn for me to get 3 in Dynamo on the stack and maybe trick my opponent into panicking on the engineered explosives. Though I'm literally dead next turn, so it doesn't matter. Big rips. Can we play the game? No. All right. We made a noble effort out of it. Turns out, Force of Will Days Wasteland, still pretty good. On to the next one. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I am on the play in round 2, which is a much better place to be. Turn 1 3-ball. Keep this all day, every day. Monolith. Ball. We're in there. Okay. Anything is possible when you have turn 1 Trinisphere. You could win with anything, even Covetous Dragon. Arid Mesa. Okay, so probably a little bit of Oslet Pride stuff going on over there. Get a second 3-ball out. Develop my Saga. Or a second Grim Monolith. Better than 3-ball. The second Monolith is good. The second Trinisphere rarely matters. Elegant Parlor. Wildfire should roast this deck. Just conceptually. Okay, Static Prison to the bin. They are a Wasteland deck, but Wastelanding me when you're behind on a Trinisphere isn't even really a good answer to anything. Oh my god. I have to do it, right? I mean, like, playing this card is worse than making a construct. Yeah, I'm gonna make 2 constructs and play Wildfire. Like, the constructs, I cut a bunch of win conditions from the deck when I added Urza Saga, because that's just what Urza Saga does for decks like this. The dragon will still be around in the post Urza Saga society. And my plan here is to make a construct. Right, they've got their first spell available. A Johnny. I'm going to take a Moments Before Disaster screenshot. Looking good. Okay. End step. Construct. Also, or untapping Grim Monolith. Doesn't matter. I could tap one to untap the other. That's just being silly. Okay. Can I make a second construct and do what I want here? I need red, red 4. If I tutor Manifold Key, I can get the 4, so it's 3, untap it to 5, red, red. Yeah, okay, I can do it all. I hope I've counted that correctly. I'll even get the Voltaic Key in honor of Kai, even though it's worse. 1, 2, 3. Wildfire, baby. GG. Oh, Johnny is flipping? That's funny. No, it isn't. Heck yeah. We did it. And they're dead on board. I don't think there's a card in Magic that could save them here. Let's go. Okay, a Braid's coming in. Wildfire is kind of plan A. Masticore is probably insane against this deck too, as funny as that is. They are usually a Wasteland deck. I'm going to leave in my Needle and Flute. Squelcher, not what I want. Blood Moon, not what I want. Yeah, it's just the Abrades coming in. And my cuts, the Curse Scroll could be good against this deck too. But I think Wildfire is really what I'm trying to do with my life. Though Curse Scroll can fall out of Ursa's Saga and then start picking off Ocelot Prides. Tangle Wire on the draw might not be good enough here. I think I'm going to go -1 Tangle Wire and minus the Curse Scroll. I just said Curse Scroll could be good. Oh no, Mistress Helix is so much worse. I've already hit it. And it's going. Alright. I could have done that better. Okay, the removal spell, the only removal spell in my deck, and also the sideboard card, is in my hand. Ocelot Pride on 1, here we go. Trinisphere, you're going to be a little slow, my friend. Mountain, Manifold Key. How bad is turn 2 going to be for me? I hope it's not a Johnny. Oof. Oof size, massive. Alright, that means I can't go after the Ocelot Pride. I have to kill the Ajani. When it gets a little extra here. 1 ring. Right, I'm playing Saga. I guess I have to Abrade Ajani. Yeah, I'll just take that thing out. Yeah, play draw. Pretty important in this matchup. I'm glad I won the die roll for game 3. Yeah, Wasteland. That's gonna cause some problems. A Grim Monolith is the best card I can draw here, which is usually just the truth of the deck. Kai's deck had a bunch of Earthquakes in the sideboard, which I considered what sweeper I would want to play, if any, in the modern card pool, and honestly, having to dedicate 6 sideboard slots to Oopsal spells just cost me all of that. Talisman, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, I'm not quite dead. And with double key, if I find a land for this Thran Dynamo, I am buzzing. They are certainly going to have the City's Blessing here. There it is. There's going to be a lot of tokers. What I need to do is draw the land, Thran Dynamo into the 1 ring into Wildfire, and I could still win this game. At 7 life, though, with only 1 other 1 ring to replace this one. Could be tough. Abrading my Talisman. Alright, now I have to draw a Soul Land or a Grim Monolith. Alright, deck. Let's do it. There's a bunch of hits. No! Alright. Okay. Now I get to be on the play. What are you going to do about that? Alright, I'm already respecting Wasteland as much as I want to. I'm not bringing 4 flutes in for that shit. And Tangle Wire is a little better on the play, but so is Abrade. Yeah, okay. This is still the plan. On the play with a turn 2 1 ring. Turn 1 Disruptor Flute, if I want that. Alright, I mean, you keep hands like this. Tomb, Monolith. Unfortunately, turn 1 Tangle Wire doesn't actually do anything. Plateau, Static Prison. Okay, I mean, that's pretty nice. I will use this mana to flute and name Wasteland. Use it or lose it. Taking a lot of damage to get this first 1 ring down, but hopefully it's worth it. Rings in. Off we go. It's weird because 1 ring is generally only exciting upside, can't possibly lose now that this is in play. However, the construction of my deck and the fact that double Ancient Tomb was my open makes it pretty interesting. Deafening Silence. Yeah, that's not what I'm about. Urza's Saga. Right, I'll draw some cards. We'll start there. How do we do this? Tangle Wire is good here. I'm worried about the damage, but I'm always going to be worried about the damage. Tangle Wire. A Shadow Spear would go a long way in this deck. Just call that out right now. Alright, tap all your shit. And then I'm going to tap Tangle Wire, Flute, and Ancient Tomb on my turn. Down to 0 energy, which means if they go land creature, they could use that energy. All right. Oh no. Tangwire is very bad versus this card. All right, so I need to fade first, then ring trigger, then tangle the flute, the wire, and one of the tombs. Mox Opal. I don't hate that. That lets me cast a spell on my turn and on my opponent's turn. Or I can activate Urza Saga without taking damage. Okay, Mountain Opal. That's my spell for the turn. Opponent's going to have to tap 3, but they can afford it. Yeah, Shadow Spear actually would, I think. I don't know about completely stabilize. That might be dramatic, but would be really good here. Something to offset this painful open. You gotta pay an energy, which means you have to make 2 creatures before combat, which is something this deck can totally do with a Johnny, or just casting 2 creatures, 3 cards in hand. Amped Raptor. I can just kill Guide of Souls here instead of making a construct. I'm gonna draw cards first, and then I can make an informed decision. All right, I'm gonna kill Guide of Souls. That means they won't gain life this turn. I mean, Amped Raptor is still about to do something, but let's hope that something doesn't cover this. Yeah, Swords to Plowshares, no targets. Or you could plow your own Amped Raptor to trigger Ocelot Pride. Probably doesn't make a lot of sense to do that, but I'm just saying, it was there for you. Okay, the Tangle Wire fades down to 2, which is completely free because I have Flute and Wire to tap. We go to 6. City of Traders, my draw. Well, I'll draw a bunch more, which means I have to win right now and also can't tap Ancient Tomb again, and also... yeah, whatever. I mean, I need a Wildfire. Covetous Dragon's not the one. Oh no. A Wildfire here, actually... I still lose to my One Ring. That's fine. Alright. Am I casting any other spells this turn? Or should I make the construct? Opponent has 3... yeah, there's just no out here. Dying to the One Ring, as Richard Garfield intended. Are there any instants I could draw? Because I could untap the ring, go to 1 in my next upkeep, and maybe do some stuff here. Yeah, the Deafening Silence, weirdly relevant. Not a great card against the Stompy deck, but a pretty fine card against a Mystic Forge combo deck, which is unfortunately the posture I'm in. Alright, I have been slain. GG's. Couldn't leverage the play hard enough, but we did win the game with a Wildfire. On to the next round.
The NYSE Open is returning on June 6, 2026 to Long Island, New York. This proxy-friendly vintage tournament has the guaranteed prize pool of 8 pieces of Power 9 to be drafted by the top 8 based on final standings. Any additional profits made from the event will be added to the prize pool as on-site vendor credit. This tournament has been great the last 2 years. How often do you get to act sad about winning just a time walk? You know I'll be there. See you at the NYSE Open on June 6 on Long Island, New York. Use my link in the video description or find the New York Stacks Exchange on melee.gg.
I'm on the draw for round 3. Gonna have to mulligan. A little too many clunkers there. This one cooks with a monolith. I'll keep it. And Mishra's Helix is kind of redundant with double Tangle Wire. That's just more of the same. All right, I'll put Helix to the bottom. What a surprise. The 5-mana clunker that sees 0 legacy play gets bottomed over all the legacy cards. This hand's a little awkward in that I have to develop Urza's Saga first, or else all this stuff just goes away. Ponder, off of a volcanic island. Could be Delver, could be Show and Tell. The world may never know. Kai's original list had a 4-3 split in favor of City of Traders. I went 4-3 in the other direction, for exactly the reason we see right now. Right, another city. That lets me get a little bullish here. Alright, City, Monolith, Daze, my nemesis. And I'll play out Mox Opal, just in case that matters, and pass. If opponent plays Show and Tell, and I actually would love for them to Wasteland me, because I'm going to blow up my own land this turn anyway. There is probably a reasonable full rebuild of this mana base if you went to the Planar Nexus stuff instead of Cities and Tombs. You might be able to iterate this deck further into the future. All right, I'm going to float mana, play Saga, and then play a Tangle Wire. I understand that messes up my Saga, but it also messes them up for multiple turns, and also if they counter it, that's great for me. That gets an exchange on a turn where I wasn't going to get an exchange. Okay, we're in there. That's 2 artifacts now for Opal. Both of us are going to tap all our permanents this turn cycle. Wasteland, okay. Frustrating, but mostly fine. That puts us both under the wire even longer. I draw a different land? No, I cannot. Do I even play out the City of Traders? I think I don't. Which is weird, but Tangle Wire creates weird games. I wouldn't have to tap the city next turn, but I don't want to lose another land to myself when I'm in a Wasteland matchup. Wow, Boomerang Basics the Tangle Wire. That thing was about to be done. Alright, I guess now I have to play out City of Traders, because nothing else is coming to save me. And we appear to be against the otter version of Delver. This deck is very bad against Wildfire if you can cast it. Quarry Steel Cutter. Ponder. I think what Legacy needs is a City of Traders that just doesn't have a downside. What do we think, chat? Though I guess Wizards of the Coast literally can't print that card because part of the reserve list is they also can't make strictly better versions. Like, I'm pretty sure that is part of it. It's not like Masticore's on the reserve list, but we can print a Masticore that's a 5/5. Things are falling apart here, but we push forward. We move on. Had some cool exchanges early, but opponent's pulling ahead now. Mystic Sanctuary, what the hell? A Ponder return to the top of deck. So a cantrip here is guaranteed to hit Ponder, which is guaranteed to Quarry Steel Cut me. What's up with multiple opponents in a row playing token generation into my Tangle Wire deck? This is an outrage. Mishra's Bauble. I mean, Wildfire still wins this game. Somehow. They only have 4 lands, and all of their creatures have less than 4 toughness. What do I need? I need the top card of my deck to be Grim Monolith, or I need to get Thran Dynamo into play somehow. Oh no, they have a Murktide Regent. That one's a lot harder to deal with. 7/7. Yeah, Wildfire into Tangle Wire, though. Cures all problems in the world. Alright, that's not it, though. I'm thinking the deck wants some Pyroblast. A Hexing Squelcher over Curse Scroll, and I don't think I'm trying to Blood Moon this deck. They can win on red cards only, but they can't cast Murktide even with a single basic island in the deck, which is what they usually have. Now, I think I'm more interested in Wildfiring. Covetous Dragon does beat Delver, Dragon's Rage Channeler, all those shitters in combat. Though it is probably one of the clunkier cards. Okay, Squelcher's in. My commitment to Mishra's Helix remains steadfast. I could switch that out, actually. Nope, too late. Magic Online caught me moving cards around and decided to fire the game. I would like to play first. And weird hand, but I am going to run it. Manifold Key, get in there. This is a turn 3 One Ring that draws twice. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Ancient Tomb, okay. Now I don't even have to lose a land necessarily. Obviously, they could Wasteland me here, but I'm going to try to hold the fort. It's not Wasteland. They started tapping mana, then changed their mind and went to combat. Which is interesting. So it's not Quarry Steel Cutter, or if it is, they don't have a second spell for it. I don't care about a Braid here. Okay, it is Quarry Steel, but it's second main Quarry Steel. The slow heat on Quarry Steel. And kept a card on top with Channeler. Yuck. Grim Monolith. Cool. Alright. I'm going to go for that. This might bait out a counterspell, and if it doesn't, it's also just a card I'm happy to have in play. Force of Negation, pitching Storm Chaser's Talent, and the Surveil's going to stay on top. Oh, now they're not interested in Wasteland all of a sudden. Okay. Alright, that's fine. That was a nice draw. Got that out of the way. One Ring is what I'm really trying to do. Storm Chaser's Talent. It's a spell. Dumped Quarry Steel. They're 1 card type away from Delirium. Brainstorm is not the missing card type, so it does trigger all the shit. Alright, please don't high roll Delirium. Alright, dumped another Wasteland. Cool. I actually am kind of worried about my mana. I'm glad my opponent is not worried about my mana, but that probably means they're worried about counterspells, which are also not great for me. But One Ring's a hell of a bait spell, because if it resolves, I'm stoked, and if it gets countered, that clears the runway for Wildfire. Alright, deck. Tangle Wire. Alright, I guess I want to pitch a City of Traders here and just take my medicine on losing that land in the future. Because if Ring resolves, I can tap Ancient Tomb without hurting myself. Oh, we're in there. Okay. ring, make 2 mana, untap, ring, and untap target artifact. This will put me to 8 cards in hand, and I can play the key, so that's fine. All right, I have my other ring, my replacement ring, and I have the ability to wildfire, where they clearly don't have a counterspell, or they would have fought over ring. So I don't have any artifact mana, which is kind of stinky, because that is part of the wildfire thing. I might just wildfire, then die to my own One Ring. If he dies, he dies. Opponent fetching away the brainstorm cards. I get this turn to breathe. Opponent could play a land, level up Storm Chaser's Talent, put Force of Negation back in the grip. That would be kind of annoying. They just did all that work to be clear they didn't have a counterspell in hand. Land number 4. Are they going to level up? Are they going to add to their board? What's the plan here? I am desperately in the market for a Grim Monolith or Thran Dynamo. Putting Brainstorm on top of the deck with Mystic Sanctuary can also level up talent. All right. There is a force in their hand now. It is known. A Trinisphere would flush that out. Vexing Shusher. I do have a bunch of counterplay in my deck, and I'm about to draw 5 cards. I'm also scheduled to take a lot of damage here. I can draw a lot more than 5 cards if I need to. Grim Monolith, what's up? Okay, do they think this is the problem? I'm going to draw with the ring first and see if I can flush out the counter for sure, because I definitely want this Monolith to resolve. Okay, I've got 2 of them now. That's great. Monolith? Oh, that just resolved like nothing. Why would that resolve like nothing? Mox Opal's bonkers, because this means I can play Wildfire without spending my land drop. 1, 2, 3. Untap Monolith. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Moment of Truth. Wildfire on the stack. Wow! Let's go! Okay. Now I need to... Oh, they're just conceding! Once a banger, always a banger. Put all your cards in the bin. Okay. Nice. All right, I feel like some Abrade should be in here just as some respect for the fact that my opponent is trying to attack my life total. Trinisphere is quite a bit worse on the draw, so is Tanglewire. I think Tanglewire is better against Delver than Trinisphere is. And if I could start the game with one of them and play, I'd pick Trinisphere, but on turn 3 or whatever, when I'm in top deck mode trying to stay alive and get something going, Tanglewire's better. Okay, here we go. All right, I've got good mana. I think I'm going to keep this on the strength of good mana, and I'll worry about what I'm doing with all that mana later. Bobble. Bobbling yourself. Didn't play a fetch land, must like that top card. Okay, I can play around Daze, so I will. The strength of basic lands. There's not a lot Delver can do with an island on my turn, unless I play into it. Brainstorm. And we already presume there is a fetch land in their hand because they bubbled themselves. There's no reason to do that if you can't actually manipulate the top of the deck. Tapped Mystic Sanctuary. Yucko. How is that possible? Like, are all the cards so good that that's worth keeping them? Or did you actually just not have a fetch land and you were worried? Like that doesn't make any sense. Okay, hold on. Whatever. I don't understand why that land was played this turn, but things may reveal themselves as the game continues. Generally, countering a Grim Monolith is a good idea, and opponent agrees, pitching a Murktide Regent, but I kept this hand on the strength of its huge, stable mana base, and now I've once again drawn both copies of the One Ring that I play. Storm Chaser's Talent, and no land. Okay, wow. I don't understand the self-bobble at all now that this is how the game has progressed. Urza Saga, get in there. Do I want to turn on Daze? Would they have pitched Murktide Regent to force if they had Daze? Weird pause here. Do I suspect Consign to Memory? I'm just going to pass. Because if they have Consign and they use it to counter the Make Constructs ability next turn, then I can stick the One Ring. Brainstorm. Okay, that's a real card. That suddenly creates more options and eliminates all the things I thought I knew about their hand. A Wasteland. Do you want the Saga or the Tomb? All right, Saga, good call. Frustratingly good call. I would love one of my disruptive things here. Oh, a Braid. That's not a disruptive thing. It does kill this Otter, though. And I can continue developing around days and not hurting myself with Ancient Tomb. All things that I enjoy. Would my opponent hard counter a Braid? Because if I abrade the Otter on my turn and we have a fight over it and they win the fight, the prowess will burn off. But I also don't think they would spend force on this. They also don't have enough lands to reasonably get it to 4/4. I'm just going to kill this thing. It's the only thing dealing damage right now. And here comes the Murktide. I've held the One Ring this long. Try to buy some time against this. You're in there, big Mercs. Entangle Wire turns this thing off forever. Saga, okay. I'll play that. So I was going to make a land drop anyway to play around days. Their hand is all spells, because they haven't played a land since turn 2. Everything they're looking at is a spell right now. I just have to hope that Force Blue card is not on the menu. One Ring. Sad. Force Pitching Force. Many forces. The other ring is here, but as we've determined, my deck's not very good at having only 2 rings. I just had the vision in my head of Covetous Dragon holding Shadow Spear, and all of my life has come crashing down. They did not shuffle. They hit Wasteland. Another Wasteland for another Saga, which means I'm committed to taking damage from Ancient Tomb again to play this other One Ring. All right, here we go. One Ring. I'm at 6, which is actually 5 because I do plan on tapping the ring. Found a key. Might as well spend it. If their last card is Days at this point, whatever. A Tangle Wire is the card that could still do anything this game for me. And even that's quickly running out of time due to my pesky little life total. Oh, there's Tangle Wire. Do I want the City of Traders in? I mean, that does a lot. Okay. Grim Monolith. There appears to be a pause here, like they're thinking about it. Please force this. Holy shit, please force this. Okay, Tangle Wire. This is the important one. No! Alright, well, what can I do now? I guess it's untap the ring with key, draw 3 cards, and I don't even know if there is a sequence of 3 cards that could put another thing on the stack. I guess if I had done that first, I could have played Squelcher, but that does require committing to that. Alright. Too many forces, and too big of a creature. On to the next round. Nobody has swept me yet. We have done the thing, and Wildfire has been involved. We'll get one.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I am on the play in round 4. We are looking at living proof of why Thran Dynamo is so much worse than Grim Monolith. Yeah, I can't really keep this. It's too fair. Like, I could Needle Wasteland, and then I know my stuff is safe, but then what? Yeah, I'll mulligan. Alright, I like this one better. Keep, and one of these mountains is going to go away. The rarely seen turn 2 Karn Silver Golem in Legacy. Are we going to get it? Opponent's on a mull to 5. We'll see if that means I'm just dead. 4 Karn, costing 5 instead of 4. You would be in play right now, my friend. Blooded Strand. Alright, well, that's good news from a mull to 5. It's not just oops chasing the nut draw. Island Ponder. Chose to shuffle. Living in Fear. Saga. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Karn? Fuck yeah. That's a 4/4. What are you going to do about that? Ancient Tomb Show and Tell. Not an Ancient Tomb. In step, I'll untap my Monolith, which I can battle with. I could make it a 2/2 if nothing else happens here. Great Furnace, and I mean, I might as well, right? I mean, that does tap it. All right. I might not as well, actually. Forgot that attacking taps creatures. Karn Silver Golem has done combat damage in 2026. You saw it here first. Brainstorm. I really hope my opponent is a fair blue deck. If this is just show and tell that turns the corner. That stinks, but against a fair blue deck, I actually like my position. A fetch, this should reveal some important information. Basic mountain, shit, this is show and tell all day. And I don't have Tangle Wire in my hand to put in off of show and tell. Like, that could actually beat an Emrakul. Alright, resolves. Put in mountain. We got an Atraxa. That won't be easy to beat. Snake Attack, Brainstorm, Ponder, Force, Show and Tell. Yeah, that's a lot of good cards. Hold on. I do have Manifold Key in play. How big are these constructs? I can make my creatures unblockable. Opponent took Sneak, Brainstorm, Show, and Squelcher. End of turn, Construct. Yeah, I don't have a Skateboard in my deck, or a Lava Spur Boots. Skateboard would actually win the game right now. Grand Dynamo. Okay, another Construct. Another Manifold Key. I don't have enough to activate both of them. Pithing Needle on Sneak Attack could give me something here. Curse Scroll, not quite lethal. I think I might need a Pithing Needle Sneak Attack. Pithing Needle on Sneak Attack. Do that. Mountain from hand. Casting this Thran Dynamo is a little risky, but I think it is necessary. Gotta get these artifact count up. Construct can't be blocked. Attack for 8. Alright, there it is. They're at 4. They go back to 11 next turn. Once again, the One Ring is what I need to be doing. Oh, they tapped the Ancient Tomb. That means they go to 9 off this attack, and any artifact I draw here could be good enough. That's interesting. Flooded Strand. If they crack that Flooded Strand, I actually just have lethal, even through the Atraxa hit. You can't go to 8 here. I'm not sure it was a good idea to go to 9. Okay. We're both at 9. Wow, they fetched to 8. They must have a kill spell, because they just left themselves dead on board. Lotus Petal. We're going to show it. What are we doing? Do you have Omniscience? Show and Tell, second Atraxa. That doesn't save you. I haven't actually done the math of if they were dead anyway. Like, could the unblockable 8/8 plus the 4/4 plus the blockable 8/8 plus maybe an animated Thran Dynamo and Pithing Needle have done enough damage? Like, could that have done 9? Could that have done 11? I didn't bother to do all that math. I was going to do it if it came up. But yeah, opponent just took 3 damage that turn to leave themselves dead on board. I'll friggin' take it. Right, Disruptor Flute. This matchup is the reason there's so many in the deck. I don't want Hexing Squelcher. Mishra's Helix actually seems like a banger. Rare spot where Wildfire sucks. I mean, blowing up all their lands is awesome. Curse Scroll continues to be the worst card in this deck. Sorry, Curse Scroll. You know I love you. Trinisphere. I could put that in off of Show and Tell to counteract an Omniscience. Another matchup where Pyroblast would be great. No surprise there. I think I actually am going to shave a Wildfire because they don't have creatures that dies to. Or they have Hexing Squelchers, but I don't think that's what I'm worried about anyway. Mindbreak Trap. It would require Mox Opal plus a key to untap Mox Opal plus enough other mana to do all of that to hardcast it. They could have like land petal kind of things. Or like Show and Tell could resolve and then I counter the second spell off of Omniscience. Right, there are lines for Mindbreak Trap if I'm hard up, but I don't actually think I am that hard up. Okay, let's go. Just like this. And I have my most important card, which is Disruptor Flute. It might take a while to put it on the stack, but I can't mulligan this. 6 cards in hand. A Valk versus Saga. Alright, I'm happy to see a land. End step Brainstorm. That means they're close to comboing off, and they're just looking for that last piece. Disruptor Flute would be my put-in off of a Show and Tell here. And if they put in Omniscience, I can name Atraxa. If they put in Sneak Attack, I can name that. If they put in Atraxa or Emrakul, I just lose. But nothing I can do about that with my deck construction. Basic Island fetched. Ponder. Alright. Off you go then. It is possible in my deck, though unlikely, that with enough keys and dynamos, Astakor could kill Atraxa. The Urza Saga, and I'm going to cast Disruptor Flute in my opponent's upkeep. That plays around Force of Negation, and if they spell Pierce it, they have to spend mana on their turn, just all the reasons why this would be the time to do this. Force pitching Atraxa, okay. That costs them a payoff. We'll see. how bad that actually ends up being for them. Might not matter at all. All right, well, show and tell's on the stack. I could put in the One Ring and start drawing cards. I think I'm better off putting in Grim Monolith and trying to have the most options for the future. Well, they had a second Atraxa and it found a Force of Will. Probably no good here, team. One Ring doesn't give you protection unless you've cast it. Not that getting protection here would matter. All right, they took a Braid, Atraxa, Ancient Tomb, Lotus Petal, Show and Tell. Oh, valuing a Braid over Force of Will. That's kind of scary. So when your opponent does something you didn't expect, you should give them credit that that's probably right for their plan, rather than assume that they're bad and wrong. Okay. Disruptor Flute gives me some game. I could Flute naming Force of Will and then play the One Ring. Seems like it has to happen. It's weird because I don't know that they have a Force of Will. I could just name Show and Tell on this. I could name a Braid on this. I can name a lot of things on this. All right, I'm actually going to name Show and Tell. And if they did have a Force as the unknown card in hand, I accept this L. But they'll have to pitch Show and Tell or Force to do it. Okay, Brainstorm was the unknown. Now they're scrambling. All right, sweet. We're in there. I have ring protection. Can I ride this ring to a spot where Massacre will kill my opponent's Atraxa? That would be one of the most legendary things I've ever done on this channel, if that happens. Flooded Strand is not the Ancient Tomb I knew about. Atraxa stays home. Draw for turn. I'll do that first. Then I'll draw with the ring and see what additional decisions I need to make. Okay, can I make a construct? What's my plan if I don't? I don't think I can make a construct here. I need all my mana where I'm going. I could Pithing Needle this Flooded Strand, but I know that their hand already just works fine without it. A key is worth, a Dark Ritual's worth of mana, or an Ancestral's worth of cards. That's the place to be right now. I'm going to play another key first, and then untapping Monolith gets a Braid a target. Guess I'll play another Saga. I'll play another Monolith. And do I even draw more cards here? Is that where this game's going for me? I guess it is. Untap the One Ring. I can get up to 7 cards here. Mox Opal is among the good cards I could draw. Hey, that's a Mox Opal. I can spin this Monolith into Dynamo. All right, I'm going to cast Dynamo. Because my plan is actually to kill Atraxa with Masticore. Anything that is mana is probably where I need to be in my life. Okay. Passing the turn. That a Braid is a little frustrating, but we'll see where they put it. If they still think their Show and Tell's important, they might pick off my Flute. I would love that. End step, fetch for Volcanic Island. All right, a Braid did kill the Flute. Good. Okay. I mean, that could represent another Atraxa. Well, it does represent another Atraxa that's just face up. But my plan is to kill an Atraxa anyway. If they come up with a sneak attack, they could Show and Tell the sneak attack, then activate it, and that's a lot worse for me. Or it's about the same, actually. Because it's still just Atraxa. Okay, Show and Tell. Isn't Masticore's time? Is he going in? Hell yeah, he is. Alright, I've put in Masticore off of Show and Tell. Who knows what year it is. Don't have the Emrakul. Boo! Alright, I certainly don't have 30 mana to kill that thing. Alright. Alright, game 3. I'm on the play. Yes, Blood Moon, there's a Braid. These cards are just not going to help. In Hexing Squelcher, I could cut the Wildfires, even though blowing up all their lands would be pretty good at some point. But if my stuff resolves, that's good for me. Alright, here we go. Minor adjustment. Well, I have the Squelcher, but the rest of the hand is unplayable. I will mulligan. Yeah, this is a turn 3 Mishra's Helix. After blowing up all my lands to do it. Yep, mulligan that. Okay, I'm kind of into this hand. Keep it, and I really want Monolith. I also really want Covetous Dragon. But Dragon is, unfortunately, the worst card in the hand. I wish I could just keep 7. I'm playing with such moderate cards by the standards of the age. I should be allowed to look at 9 the first time. And then mulligan to 8 and then to 7 from there. I think that's a fair way to balance this. Opponent mull to 5. I'll take that. Okay. One Ring. Pretty good card, from what I've heard. Squelcher. I hope your hand has 5 counter spells. Fetching in response. Hydroblast it. Hydroblast it. Brainstorm in response. Okay. Force it. Daze it. Okay. They did not panic and try to counter my uncounterable spell. Sometimes it's okay to hope that your opponent's brain leaves their body temporarily. Alright, I'm going to put in Grim Monolith here. That gives me the most options for next turn. My spells are going to resolve. Magus of the Moon. You brought that in? I'm a mono red deck. Okay, that's fine. There's a Show and Tell and an Emrakul among those cards, though. I don't love that. I do love Tanglewire. They took Scalding Tarn, Force of Will, Emrakul, and Show and Tell. Something that goes +1 mana would be insane here. Oh my god. The Mishra's Helix. It's time. Okay. What I'm going to do is play Tanglewire this turn. That will lock my opponent down for the next turn. I can make a construct, and then I have to get a key off of Saga, try to get the Helix online in time for turning Emrakul off. Alright, tap 4 things. Oh, what a shame, you only had 3. Unfortunately, they will have 4 things next turn, and they'll be asked to tap 3, and Atrax is the thing that stays untapped. End of turn. Construct. Moderately sized. Has ward, though. Okay. I'm going to fade my Tanglewire, and then I'm going to make another construct, and then I have to tap 3 things. It's going to be the wire, the new construct, and the Squelcher. And then Trinisphere, a little late. I'm going to get Manifold Key, and the plan is to one-ring tempo my way through this game. Hexing Squelcher, playing backup. Yeah, Trax is a hell of a creature, though. Vigilance, busted. Who put Vigilance on this thing? But they selected Atraxa to be tapped. That's scary. That means they're going to commit Emrakul to the board this turn. What? Oh, not with Mountain, you're not. Okay, with Lotus Petal, you are. Show and Tell put in Mishra's Helix. Alright, Emrakul. Hell of an animal. The one ring doesn't help much. I don't think I can afford to put in Trinisphere because that'll hurt me, but I could tap it to Tanglewire and then it's off. Okay. I guess that is the plan. Or I could just have Mishra's Helix in play. But I want this to be bad for my opponent. If they put in... Oh yeah, if they found in Omniscience here, this is actually a blowout. Oh no, it's the opposite! The sneak attack. Well done. Well done. And I know Emrakul's in the hand. Oh. Oh. Where'd Emrakul go? Alright. I guess Atrax is going to hit me, and it's going to die at the end of turn. Did they just kill themselves again? Or did they... What's going on? What did they think was going to happen here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did they keep the wrong Atraxa? This is the one with haste. Like, this one was ready to attack. Or no, this one was tapped, right? They took Stock Up, Sneak Attack, Brainstorm, Emrakul, Flooded Strand. Okay. They go to 16. I can attack for 14 on board. I just need to play 1 artifact and I win. Alright, I think mistakes were made here. Once again. Okay. Fade the Tanglewire. 6, 12, 14, 15, 16. Yeah. Yeah. The math is there. And I still have Squelcher in play, so I could tap the Trinisphere. Okay. Were they trying to high roll a Lotus Petal, but then also got blown out by the other thing? Alright, I'm gonna untap Grim Monolith, play the One Ring, draw a card, attack for 16. Holy moly! We did it, everyone! I'm not sure how, but it happened. We're on the board! The memory of Kai lives on.
The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success.
Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Receivables has it at youtube.com/thereceivables. I'm on the play in the final round. We've got big Trinisphere hanging out. I will keep on the strength of turn 2 Trinisphere and hope this is a matchup where this is good. Opponent said, big fan, they wish they weren't on a dumb brew. Don't worry, homie. I am way dumber than you today. Whatever you're doing, I got it worse. All right. Mountain Pass. And I've got this horrendous City of Traders curve out here where I play City on 2, resolve Trinisphere, play Saga on 3. It blows up my city. Oh no. Is this the brew and it's Delver? I wish I wasn't on a brew. Demir Tempo. I mean, if Trinisphere gets Thoughtseized, then I can just play Urza Saga. Yeah, opponent just said in the chat the exact same joke that I was making. Oh. Thoughtseize bug, Thoughtseize bug, Thoughtseize bug. Who's joking now? We did it. All right. Now let's see if my original plan is going to work out. Nation Tube, show and tell. Put in a Traxa. But your boy does have a Masticore here. Can't wait to discard all my cards for the rest of the game, just for my 4/4 to get blanked by Nethergoyf. Masticore is in play, everyone. That happened once before, but I died immediately to a combo. This is in play in a spot where it might do something. Discarded Badlands. All right, we've got Grixis over there. Am I about to get Kolagons commanded? Barrogoyf. I haven't had to play against Barrogoyf yet in the league. Let's not speak that into existence. Not a beatable card. Not without the clutch Icy Manipulator tech. I'm really hoping my opponent is on, like, Grixis Arclight Phoenix or some, like, proper mess that Trinisphere actually completely blanks. All right, 3-mana Dragon's Rage Channeler. Oh my god! Time to read Masticore. Okay, I'm going to discard Mountain. I hope I don't need that. Draw for turn. Tanglewire. Okay, how do I envision this game going? I can just kill this Dragon's Rage Channeler. That's available to me. I think I'm going to play City. Attack for 4. I would rather not spend my mana killing the Dragon's Rage Channeler because I have Saga going. So I just won't. Yeah, I don't care. My constructs will be better than this Dragon's Rage Channeler. It's fine. And they're 2 cards away from Delirium with the ability to only cast 1 spell per turn. I'm gonna park it here and let Dragon's Rage channel Rage. Moon Shadow. You know what else is a 1/1? That one I'm a little more worried about. But I can do the whole thing here. I'm just gonna let DRC hit me. You're not getting that Moon Shadow any bigger. Okay. End step, construct. I can make 2 constructs, tutor Mox Opal, and then do it all. I'm going to discard the other Saga because I will not be playing a land that blows up my City of Traders anytime soon. Mox Opal and straight to combat. Opponent could have something like Street Wraith that saves the Moon Shadow. Okay. Now I have a decision to make. I am going to kill one of these creatures. The Dragon's Rage Channeler will definitely die. The Moon Shadow might not. Yeah, I'll kill the DRC, which also grows the Shadow, but my opponent's dead next turn anyway. All right. If they could get Moon Shadow to 9 power and give it double strike this turn, I accept my loss. Nice. Okay. Bodied by Masticore in 2026, and it actually mattered. Like, it did kill something. It wasn't just would have won with anything there, though I may have also just won with anything. Let's be serious. Blood Moons look good here. Wildfire seems great here. Covetous Dragon still hasn't been in play. I believe it could happen. 3 colors plus Wasteland. It can be done. It's just suspicious. I think I'm gonna shave my Pithing Needle. Or I should leave Needle and shave Flute. Flute's like the worst version of the same thing. Do I want Squelchers, Abrades, Blood Moons? They don't seem like a deck that would function very well under Blood Moon. Abrade seems like the most important thing I could do with Squelcher and Moon after it. All right, I think I'm finally giving up on Mishra's Helix. I tried so hard. You all saw me do it. Curse Scroll, I gave up on that a long time ago. Trinisphere is worth on the draw, but it is still good against their deck. I'll leave a couple in there. This is what the deck looks like without Blood Moon. I think one of my dragons can become Blood Moon, and I'll leave it there. I want to leave some dragons in. I would like to have it around. All right, I could turbo out a Tangle Wire. Do I think that's even good? I'm not going to mulligan the hand. All right, I'll keep. Opponent also has 7. Thoughtseize. Probably wants Grim Monolith here, would be my guess. Depends on how worried they are about the Wildfire coming online. I don't have to worry about Daze because of this Badlands. I wonder if this is like Rakdos with some other stuff, or what's actually going on over there. Oh, Thran Dynamo, the better Grim Monolith after taking Grim Monolith. I will take my medicine to get Wasteland offline. Okay, pass. Undercity Sewers. Dumping Hydroblast. All right, not worried about the Wildfire. Did think about that for a while, though. Pew pew. All right, don't daze me, bro. Nice. Well, this is the dream. If I can find some red mana or an artifact worth casting to convert it. But I bought myself a lot of time. I could play the second Tangle Wire when things start to unlock here. Brainstorm in the upkeep. Use it while you can. Opponent might be able to wiggle a card like a Braid through in their next upkeep. They won't be able to melt down, basically ever. Because that one's a sorcery. Fetch land, confirmed. If they could play a 1-drop here, they can continue to function under Wire next turn. If they can't, all of those will be tapped. Nice. Couldn't do it. I'm going to tap Wire, Needle, and Ancient Tomb. Oh yeah, the red mana is starting to flow. Now a Braid is online if opponent sneaks a creature into play here, and my next red source, even in a Voltaic Key, untapping Talisman of Creativity gets me double red. They fetched in the end step. Upkeep. Do you have action here, or are we just tapping the 3 lands? Yeah, just tapping them. Love it. Love that. Roll that beautiful Tangle Wire footage. Oh, baubles are quite good versus Tangle Wire, though. That's a nice way to bank a card to unlock mana. Right, they saw the Wildfire again off of that, reminding them that it's here. You draw for bauble, I fade, then I tap Pithing Needle and Tangle Wire. I'm already out of the wire here. Well, there it is. That is Wildfire. When and how do I want to send it? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Untap. Spend 1 to untap. All right. I don't need to do this yet, right? If my opponent Thoughtseizes, I won't like that very much. I did miss a land drop last turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Untap Talisman. All right, Wildfire. Let's go. That's what I was born to do. Playing around Daze. If this deck supports Force of Will, you got me. Yeah! Another Wildfire resolves out in these streets. I don't know what the plan from here is, but I have to assume I'm favored from this position. Underground Sea. Either just drew that or smartly sandbagged it. Mostly the same thing. Nether Goyf. Oh no! That's really big. Tangle Wire's down to 1. Okay. My Wildfire has betrayed me. I need something to do here. I could just play the other Tangle Wire and buy a lot of time. Grim Monolith. Grim Monolith is in Key, untap, Dynamo, the other wire, and we restart the clock. Covetous Dragon, my man, this is it. This is your time to show up. Okay, I have to tap 3 things this turn, and 2 of them are going to be Tangle Wire. Big draws, big draws. Oh my god, that is a big draw. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'll lock myself out of red. That's okay. City of Traders. 1, 2, 3. Untap the ring. Got 2 mana floating and a land drop to still give. Okay. Trinisphere makes this game pretty exciting. And pass. Just need Covetous Dragon to show up. That's all I'm asking for. Can I get an actual win with the Covetous D? Oh no, another land. That gets them out of Tangle Wire for next turn. Nether Goyf is now a threat. They're cracking this like it's going to do anything. I've played Trinisphere this turn. Don't forget. Yeah, yeah. Untap that shit. Game rule violation. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. I actually stacked this wrong, because this is going to fade away. It doesn't matter in this particular case, but I could have tapped this one more time before it died. Okay, I am going to draw the extra cards now. Because tapping Trinisphere is something I could do, theoretically. That does unlock this Mox Opal. I think it's just so much worse for me, though, if my opponent can cast lots of spells in a turn. Wildfire number 2. That's not what I'm looking for. Manifold Key, untap the ring. Come on, deck. Hexing Squelcher. That doesn't really do what I want either. There are 2 Abrades in my hand. That's an interesting number of those. Okay, Mountain blows up my city. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I have 1 mana, exactly 1 mana floating right now. I take 4 next turn. I'm at 6. I tap this now, I'm at 5. And then I have exactly that turn to figure out my ring situation. Yeah, getting this Mox Opal in, I can't afford to do right now. All right, I mean, I guess this is the play. I'm going to take more damage than that from this Nether Goyf anyway. All right, I'm not out of the woods. Fully, completely locked, except I haven't been able to win the game. If I draw my other 1 ring this turn, I guess that has to be the game I play to. Yeah, they're not conceding. Wisely not conceding. Stack my triggers wrong, but it doesn't matter because I have so many dumb permanents. Draw for turn. Okay, the options here are go to 1. I think that is my plan, actually. Play out stuff this turn. Next turn, go to 1, and then do all my draws at once. Because if I draw and I miss this turn, I'm out of luck. But I can do a lot of development right now. Do I need 2 red this turn? No, so I can play Saga. Saga doesn't really help, though. And it's a win con eventually. All right, Saga is in 1, 2, 3 for Mox Opal. And then the Opal can cast Squelcher. That's at least something. Or no, I want another key in play. I don't care about Squelcher. That doesn't matter. All right, another key. And my plan is pass the turn, go to 1, and shred through my deck with the ring. Try to find the second ring. Okay, opponent has 1 mana available, still under Trinisphere. I'm going to untap Grim Monolith in my end step with one of the keys. Still trying to spend mana. Okay, still doesn't work. End step, untap Grim Monolith, and I get 1 turn to rule them all. 1 giant send at 1 life. Discarded Molten Collapse. Okay, I go to 1. Draw for turn. Trinisphere is not it. Here we go. Draw 5. The other 1 ring. And the Covetous Dragon. Let's fucking go. All right. It's time. And I don't need more of anything, really. Like, I could draw a bunch more cards first, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play the other 1 ring, which my opponent can't interact with. Be sure to keep the correct one. I now have protection from everything, which means Talisman and Ancient Tomb don't hurt me. But it's Covetous Dragon's time. I might even be able to Covetous Dragon and Wildfire this turn. Let's figure it out. Okay. If I Wildfire, my opponent cannot possibly win this game. I think if I have the choice between Dragon or Fire this turn, I will Fire and then cast Dragon next turn. But I want to do both. Right, I have 2 keys. They're worth 3 mana each. I think red is the gate. No, I need 3 red to go where I'm going, which I do have. All right, I want to do both. Do I have 11 mana? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think I'm there exactsies. Oh, I have the Ancient Tomb as well. Yeah, let's go. I'm doing both. Ancient Tomb. Doesn't hurt. Talisman. Doesn't hurt. Untap Monolith. Untap Dynamo. Tap Dynamo. Covetous Dragon. Leaves 1 floating. Yeah. Yeah. Covetous Dragon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I even have 1 mana floating. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Here it is on the final turn of the final game of the final league in all of history. Covetous Dragon into Wildfire for the win. Pass. Tango Wire triggers. Taps all of your permanents. Okay, no damage from the ring. All this stuff happens. Fade, dies, takes 0 from the ring. There's this Saga. Get in there. attack with Covetous D, and then I'm going to drop the rest of the squad. Masticores get involved. 1, 2, 3, 4. Masticore. That's lethal. Opponent just said we've reached no conceivable out phase of the game. That is what I was going for. And they're tapping out. Let's go! I would want to end the league no other way. Honestly, 2-3 record with a deck from 1999 with a few updates. I've done worse with real Legacy decks. And throughout the league, having played it, which is the iterative process, nobody ever gets it right on the first run. A Shadow Spear goes a long way here. Mishra's Helix didn't really hold up. Pyroblast in the sideboard. I actually think Icy Manipulator or some artifact that deals with a large creature over and over again would be huge. Curse Scroll did absolutely nothing. That could be cut. Obviously, with this pass of the deck, I was trying to stay true. I have at least one of the most important cards that Kai played back in the day, while still giving the deck a fighting chance in the modern meta, and I think I did that. A 2-3 record where the 3 losses were all 2-1. I took a game off of everyone. I'm very happy with this. Jochen, thanks for this challenge. Kai, rest in peace, buddy. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon to support the channel. I'll see you next time.